It's my vinyl haul for February 2023, and there's a lot of it. Ahoy everybody, and welcome to my vinyl haul for February 2023. So yes, lots to show you. I've bought lots this month. Big chunk I have already shown on various videos throughout the month, so as usual I'll save them to last and quickly go through those. But there's also this much that I haven't shown, so we'll start with that. So I did a slice of vinyl, my local record shop. I did a haul from them earlier in the month that you've already seen stuff from, but I picked up a few more bits from them throughout the month, either new releases that he'd pre-ordered for me and some pre-loved that I picked up on my visit last week. So without any more ado, so I'm gradually, now I've got more space for more shelving space, I'm gradually picking up Beatles on vinyl, and I picked up this nice copy of Hard Day's Nights. So this was £20, so I get 10% discount from Kieran, so that's $18 I paid. This is a reissue, as you can see, no foldbacks or anything like that, and it's a stereo copy. I haven't researched yet sort of when it's from, but it's obviously fairly old because there's no barcode or anything on it, but it is in lovely condition, a little bit dusty, but that is all, if I recall correctly. Yeah, so I was happy to pay that price for that. Also picked up this for £8, so £7.20. Greatest hits of Focus, including Sylvia, Moving Waves and Hocus Pocus. So I know Sylvia, and of course I know Hocus Pocus. And I love Hocus Pocus, so I thought, yeah, £8. I'll give that a go. It's on the Fame label. And again, this was, if I recall correctly, pretty much immaculate. Yeah. Little bit fingerprinty, but nothing significant. I don't imagine there'll be a band I want to deep dive with, but nice to have at least Hocus Pocus on vinyl. It's a band I might now delve further in once I've listened to this. Another Greatest Hits collection, and again £8. This is Mott the Hoople's Greatest Hits. So obviously I know All the Way from Memphis, obviously I know All the Young Dudes, and obviously I know Roll Away the Stone, but I think that's pretty much the extent of my knowledge. I might recognise one or two of the other tracks, but they're never a band I've properly listened to, and I know many people regard them highly, so I thought I'd pick this up, and it may be that this is sufficient for me, or it may be that it does inspire me to pick up more of their albums. There is a very small mark right at the end of All the Young Dudes, which is the last track on that side. I don't think it's going to affect play. It might skip a little bit, but at the end of the day, I've probably got 4 or 5 versions of All the Young Dudes on CD, so I can cope with that. Don't tend to go through the 12-inch racks when I go to Kieran's. Every now and then I will. I am looking for a particular 12-inch at the moment, so I did go through it this time. Basically I wanted a reasonable copy of Blue Monday by new order, but I'm in no rush, but you know, I am actively looking for it now. But as I was flicking through, I saw this. So this was £10, so it cost me £9. This is the Dire Straits extended play 12-inch from 83, is it? When did it come out? In 80? Yeah, 83 it came out, recorded in 82. This is the 4-track version, so I already have the 3-track version, which has Twisting by the Pool, Two Young Lovers, and If I Had You. But this is the 4-track version. It also includes badges, posters, stickers, t-shirts. That's the song. It doesn't contain those items in there. So I've been on a lookout for this since I realised there was 2 versions, and I'd sort of picked up the wrong one before. But it only cost me a couple of quid in a record fair, that one, so it doesn't bother me that I've had to pay significantly more for this one. But it's in excellent condition. The sleeve is pretty much mint, and the vinyl comes in a polyline sleeve, and I seem to recall again that the vinyl was perfect. Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, glad I picked that up. I'm glad I went through the 12 inches. Then a couple that Kieran had put by for me. He'd shown them in the Thursday evening what we've bought in video. So every Thursday evening, I've mentioned this before, but he does a live video on Facebook and Instagram where he shows the new releases that are coming out on the Friday, all the new and sealed stuff he'd bought that week that was going straight in the racks, and all the pre-loved stuff he'd bought that would be going in the just-in pre-loved section. And you can message with anything you want. And he showed these 2 Funkadelic LPs, and luckily I was the first person to say me please, because apparently there was a bit of demand for them. So for £25, so £22.50, this is Music for Your Mother, Funkadelic 45s. Is that all it's called? I think so. Yeah. So this is a 2 LP set, and it's a compilation of their singles, basically. I have a Funkadelic double CD set that is, you know, sort of a greatest hitsy type set, some Westbound records, and I have a few Parliament and George Clinton albums, but I don't, until now, he says hesitatingly, did I pick up one I might have one Funkadelic album on vinyl that I picked up last year, but it's neither of these. It was a new copy of one. Can't remember if that was Funkadelic or Parliament. But yeah, I am, you know, without paying silly money, I am on the lookout for their stuff as a funk fan. These have clearly been played well, possibly even, you know, gone to several parties or what have you, but they don't look like there's anything that's not going to play. And for £20, so that would have cost me 18, this is Let's Take It to the Stage. And again, a gatefold. And same applies to this. It's, you know, it's got lots of light marking on it, but nothing that should affect play, he says, nearly dropping it. I think that's all the pre-loved I've bought that you haven't already seen on other videos. So the rest of the unseen stuff is new vinyl. I think they're all new releases or re-releases. Yeah, I think so. So first up we have Gorillaz' new album, Cracker Island, and if you can just see there, yeah. I also have a poster of this that Kieran kindly gave me. He was putting the posters out for it when I was there, and he said, "Oh, do you want one of those?" And I looked at it and thought, "Yeah, I'll have one of those. That can replace Taylor Swift." That's what I'll do, you know, when I get the opportunity to get a new poster, that's where it will live for however long it's there until it's replaced. But yes, this is Cracker Island, the new Gorillaz album. So it has a little postery booklety type thing in there. And it comes in a pink inner, and it's this on neon purple, they're calling that, and very nice it is too. None of these I have listened to yet. New vinyl, I'm about a month behind, although that will probably increase with the amount that I bought this month. Pre-loved, I'm about 2 months behind. For those of you who do watch regularly, the pre-loved, I'm sort of working my way through the stuff I took out of the loft from my mum and late stepdad's collections at the moment. A new re-release. This is Madness's The Liberty of Norton Folgate. Yeah, you probably saw, but both of these were 30 quid each. No discount on new vinyl, obviously. So this is a sort of their critically acclaimed recent album. It wasn't exactly their comeback. They'd already done some new albums. But yeah, this was a hugely acclaimed album. So I'm looking forward to listening to this. On 180 gram black vinyl. It's got new sleeve notes. And 7 extra tracks on it. It's got this little booklet as well, which looks like it's a replica of the original booklet. Is it first time on vinyl, or is it a reissue? Yeah, it doesn't say first time on vinyl, so it must have come out on vinyl previously. But I should imagine it was quite a expensive one to buy nowadays. An original copy of. Next we have the new album by Danny Goffy, who's drummer with Supergrass. So interestingly, you know, this has come out just after Gaz Coombs' his latest album, and Danny Goffy's first solo album came out a few weeks after Gaz Coombs' previous solo album. But yeah, only 1,000 vinyl copies of this have been made, and it is only available through his web shop like this, in Danny's disco bag. So this is a bit of a concept album. He's written a novel called Brian Moore, A Day in the Life of an Aging Rock Star. I said Moore, didn't I? That's the football commentator. Brian Moon, sorry. So it's sort of a novel with illustrations. This literally came yesterday, so I haven't read this or anything. I probably will, he says, and then probably won't. But it also contained this envelope, which you couldn't properly unpeel, so I've had to rip, unfortunately. With some art cards in, which are 3 of the illustrations from the book. By Let's Be Frank. And the vinyl, if I can get it out, which is called Danny Goffy Presents Brian Moon's Disco Punk. Gaz Coombs does actually play on this, as does Ed Harcourt, and Piney Gear does some backing vocals, amongst other people. So I haven't heard any of this, so I don't know what it's like. But I'm looking forward to hearing it. I actually preferred his first solo album to Gaz Coombs' World's Strongest Man album. It was sort of more Supergrassy. So yeah, I'm looking forward to listening to this and seeing what it's like. So next up is an album I have heard, because it came out on CD a couple of months ago, but finally the vinyl's come out. And this is it's one of those sort of in-between albums. It's not an official, proper, brand new album. It's acoustic versions and covers and things like that. And it's Other Worlds by the Pretty Reckless. Yeah, so I've heard the CD and it's very good, very enjoyable. So I know I'm going to enjoy this. I was really gutted though, because if you watch the CD video where I showed that off, I mentioned the really bad design on it and the fact that it's really illegible, and I hoped on vinyl that would be improved, but it's not. I mean, how on earth are you meant to read those credits? It's ridiculous. So there. Even if they just increase the font, that's a lot more legible. But that is terrible. There's quite a few different colour variants of this. I pre-ordered it a long time ago. Well, at the same time as I pre-ordered the CD through Amazon, because at that time nobody else sort of had it up. So I've got the white vinyl version. There was a very limited green vinyl version that I could have got through Kieran, but because I already had this on order, I didn't bother. I'm not a completist with Pretty Reckless at all. You know, I don't need every colour or anything. I just want a copy of each album. So, but yeah, glad to have picked that up. A bit of a saga with this one. So this is the original cast recording for the recent revival of Cabaret in the West End, where Eddie Redmayne played the MC and Jessie Buckley played... Why is her character name gone completely? And why can I only think of Roxy Hart, which is Chicago? Sally Bowles. So, Slice of Vinyl put this up for pre-order, so I said, oh yes please, because as you may know, Jessie Buckley's album with Bernard Butler was my favourite album of last year. I really love her voice. So I thought, yep, we'll give that a go. I love Cabaret anyway. So yeah, said yes please. Then, a few days before it was due out, Slice of Vinyl sent me a message saying, really sorry, they've pushed back the vinyl release, don't know when it's coming out yet. So I said, that's fine, no problem. Whenever it comes out, I'll have one. But then the next day, Kieran messaged me to say that the rep had told them that actually it's not been pushed back. What has happened is that basically they underestimated demand and Amazon have bought all the vinyl. And there's no vinyl for independent record stores. So he strongly advised that, he said, you know, cancel your order with us, get on Amazon and order it, which I did, and it arrived the next day. So yeah, looking forward to hearing it, but a bit of a annoyance that I had to go through Amazon to get it, having pre-ordered it through Kieran. Again, you know, not his fault at all, purely the fault of a record company for cocking that up. This is a vinyl. Oh, just realised I did miss a pre-loved. This is a vinyl reissue of the Supernatural's second album, I think it is. It Doesn't Matter Anymore. So Supernatural's Scottish band, late 90s, sort of Britpop stroke post-Britpop. Had 2 or 3 small hits, but I like them very much. I discovered them, they supported Robbie Williams on his second solo tour. Is it the Ego Has Landed tour? Might have been, but that was the first time I saw him live, and he was supported by Supernaturals and Divine Comedy, which is one of the main reasons I went to see, because Divine Comedy is my favourite band. But yeah, really enjoyed the Supernaturals. So that was, I think we went on the Saturday. The Monday I was in the record shop buying their album, this album in fact, plus the previous one. I think I picked them both up at the same time, so I have this on CD. But yeah, really enjoy the album. I think Lazy Lover was a single. Day Before Yesterday's Man was definitely a single. And sort of the biggest hit and the most well-known song from it is Smile, and that's been used on adverts as well, so you would recognise that, I'm sure. But yeah, it is Last Night from Glasgow, which is a Glasgow record store who have their own record label. They put out the recent The Audience reissue. I've signed them up and are reissuing their works, and first up is It Doesn't Matter Anymore. So I bought it directly from them, and it comes in a, you know, one of these I'm not a big fan of these sleeves because I find they tend to get stuck to the record as I'm pulling them out. That might just be me. But this is on a nice green vinyl. It's all very good quality, nice glossy cover and everything. So yeah, looking forward to revisiting that album. Yeah, and the last thing that I haven't already shown was also in the slice of vinyl stuff that I've already shown. It's just the way I took it out of my rack that this got caught behind the new stuff. Another Beatles one for £15, so £13.50. This is the Beatles Rarities. I thought I'd grab this because obviously it's full of stuff that isn't on the albums, so it means I don't have to worry too much about picking up the past masters releases, which you don't see that often unless they're the recent reissues. But again, this was immaculate, so happy to pick that up. Yeah, you know, this has sort of got B-sides and EP tracks and things like that on it. So that is everything that I haven't already shown, and that's taken 20 minutes. But everything else I have already shown, so I won't go into any detail, but I will show you what I picked up and tell you where to look if you want to see it in more detail. So from my Slice of Vinyl haul from earlier in the month, I picked up Stevie Wonder Light My Fire. Turns out I do have Light My Fire on the album it was originally on, with Stevie's version, so I didn't really need to pick this up, but never mind, it wasn't a lot. Steelers Wheel, Stuck in the Middle with You, the best of Steelers Wheel. Gary Moore, Back on the Streets. Bowie, Station to Station. Very best of John Barry, which I primarily got for the cover as a Bond fan. Randy Newman's Land of Dreams. A reissue of Pink Floyd's Medal. Procol Harum, Procol's Ninth. Velvet Underground, White Light, White Heat. Paul Simon Songbook. Bowie, Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. And then also at the same time I picked up Wave, which is a new album by Graham Coxon of Blur and Rose Eleanor Dougal, or Dougal. So yeah, that's on green vinyl if you want to see that, watch that video. Willow wants to come in. Then my Winchester video, you will see pretty much all the rest of this, I think, bar one or two things. If you've sort of seen that and think, bloody hell, it's an hour long, I'm not watching that, for half an hour to 40 minutes, I think it is the vinyl, so it's not quite as bad as it looks. So you can, you know, you don't have to watch all the hour if you're just interested in the vinyl. But I picked up from a market stall John Martin Live at Leeds and John Martin Blessed for Weather. A Prince interview picture disc. Prince Me MPG Cream remixes, 12-inch. The Who's a quick one. Nielsen's That's the Way It Is. And then free for, turned out to be a tenner. Brass Construction number 2. Wendy and Lisa's Eroica. And Def Leppard's Hysteria. Right way round though. And then in the HMV in Winchester, they were doing free for £55 on a lot of their vinyl. And I picked up Arthur, or The Decline and Fall of the British Empire. And let's get the title right. Lola versus Paramount and The Money Go Round Part 1, both by the Kinks. She wants to go out now. Mises Murder and the self-titled album by the Smiths. Peter Gabriel Live in Athens and Self-Esteem's latest album, Prioritise Pleasure. And then I also picked up the... I feel I'll put my back on the wrong way around. Let's fix that now because it will annoy me. The 4-disc, 4LP version of the Prince 1999 reissue from a few years back. So this has got the album on 2 discs, and then 2 discs with B-sides and extended versions and promo versions. And then finally, this was a slice of vinyl purchase, and I did an unboxing for this. This is a Blackadder's historical record. So this is a 12LP box set containing the audio of all the shows, all 24 shows, 6 from each series, from the Blackadder, Blackadder 2, Blackadder the Third, and Blackadder Goes Forth. Also contains a print signed by Tony Robinson of Baldrick, and it's all on gold vinyl, and it's very nice. As I say, I've done an unboxing of that. So yes, bought a lot this month, quite an expensive month. I was in that sort of mood. Looking forward to listening to a lot of that. Well, looking forward to listening to all of it, but some of it in particular. March, who knows what that will bring. Certainly some pre-orders to come. Kieran's been buying a hell of a lot of music pre-loved in, so I'm sure there'll be some stuff in there that interests me. I've got my birthday coming up on the 11th, so hopefully, fingers crossed, there'll be music involved with that, and it may or may not be vinyl. Yeah, and as I say, we'll see. Might go further afield, doing some shopping again, might not. Many factors that will influence that decision. But yes, thank you for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Thanks. Bye.